think I'm on YouTube. Amazing. I'm on a little early, if I'm reading the clock correctly. Susan is here. Good morning, Susan. Hope all is well. I'm going to type in where it says say something. And I think that goes down on my permanent record. It's a few minutes before 10 a.m. and I have my eyes all over the place this morning. I'm looking at my camera, I'm looking at my small screen and my large screen. I'm looking at the live chat, welcoming and waiting on a Tuesday morning, May 25th, 2021. We'll get started in just a moment. Jane is here. Good morning. Thanks for checking in. I appreciate everyone who's here at 10 o'clock, and I appreciate everyone who checks in late. Good morning, good morning. JN is here. Good morning. This is my first live streaming through YouTube. I've done Zoom, as many of us have, for the past year of interesting online experiences. So I'm really happy to see some live chat happening. It lets me know that there are fellow yogis ready and waiting this morning. And since it's 10 or maybe 10:01, I think we'll go ahead and get started. Welcome once again, everyone. My name's Christine Clardy. It's a Tuesday, and I am grabbing the baton from the wonderful Sun and Moon Yoga Studio teachers who have come before me in this Tuesday morning spot, Jennifer Eubank and a few others. So I'm really grateful for the opportunity to be carrying on this morning practice. Sun and Moon Yoga Studio is here in Northern Virginia, and I have been a student with them for, I'm going to call it 2 decades. And I also teach for them happily. And of course, I still learn from Sun and Moon and from many, many other places, and from including y'all. So thank you for being here. Our practice today will be entitled, Call It an Easy Morning. So as we get into this, I would like for you to have as many props nearby as makes sense for you. If you've been doing yoga a while, if not, we can continue that conversation, but a couple of yoga blocks, a folded blanket, a rolled up towel, all of those things come in handy. And in fact, at least 1 blanket and 2 blocks would be great for today as we call it an easy morning. You have permission, of course, to alter anything that I offer today and to give me feedback. I hope I'll be able to see it in the live chat as we go. I have it on a big screen. So ideally, if you type something in, I'll be able to see it and perhaps verbally respond in real time, which is always great. I'm calling this an easy morning because I have learned, among other things, in our past year of pandemic, that flipping the language that we use is an incredibly powerful tool, both on and off the mat. So a lot of us are familiar with gratitude practices now, keeping a gratitude journal or having a moment of gratitude throughout the day. Flipping it to me means taking something that I might not instantaneously feel gratitude for and calling it something different. I have a hard time getting up in the morning occasionally, and I have found that if I call it an easy morning, it really, really helps. So I have my tea nearby. I have props. I have chosen to call this an easy morning. I have flipped it into something that I am grateful for. I'm grateful for my tea. I'm grateful for the morning. And I'm going to call it an easy morning. And we will meet on the mat here momentarily in a comfortable seated position. If that means cross-legged in Sukhasana or crisscross applesauce, then go ahead and get yourself going on that. It may mean Hero's Pose, which I will also show you. But the last thing I will add to my preamble here is, as I was thinking of my title, for some reason it popped into my head, the familiar scene in Romeo and Juliet, Act 2, Scene 2, where Romeo is hiding and Juliet is on the balcony. And she is sighing and talking about Romeo. And she says, oh, a rose by any other name, although I think she says a rose by any other word would smell as sweet. We know this line. So sometimes we like to think that what we call things doesn't matter, that they're always the same. I suggest that perhaps that's not true. At the beginning of that speech that Juliet gives, she starts by saying, "'Tis but thy name that is my enemy." So words do have power. "'Tis but thy name that is my enemy." So when I choose to call this an easy morning, perhaps I am emboldening and empowering myself, and I invite you to do the same. To call it what you will, call it an easy morning. And with that, we will move to the mat. So as I mentioned, having an easy position, an easy cross-legged position is really important. We will start cross-legged and be here for a few minutes as we get going. The higher your seat, the more comfortable you will be, especially if you tend to have tight hip joints or even tight knee joints or ankle joints. If you find that one blanket is not high enough, you can come higher. You could even set up something like a bench with yoga blocks and put the blanket on top of that. So make the seat as high as you like if you are choosing to be with your legs crossed. Alternatively, you can choose Hero's Pose, which I'll show you from the side, which is another reason it's really great to have the yoga blocks at every practice. Coming up on your knees and taking the yoga block on a wide setting in between the ankles, maybe even 2 yoga blocks with a folded blanket, and then letting your sit bones, those hard, bony protrusions underneath the pelvis, rest on the yoga block so that essentially you've extended your spine, which is our central channel. That's what holds us up. You've extended it down through the tailbone into the earth beneath. So this is a really lovely way to sit if the whole cross-legged thing is just a no-go for you altogether. So whichever it is that you've chosen, I think I'm going to return to the cross-legged business. Whatever it is that you've chosen, make it your very own. This is a moment of nesting, and this is part of what we do when we allow ourselves to call it an easy morning. Take an extra 10 or 12 seconds to find the support that we need for the day. So if you're cross-legged, you could even have some blocks underneath the thighs, the heavy part of the thigh. or a rolled blanket underneath the ankles with a higher block underneath the thigh. I'm taking a little bit of time with this seated business because it's really important to be able to sit comfortably on the ground for a lot of reasons. Maybe you're playing with a little kid, or you want to sit to meditate, or you just want to look at a different piece of your room, or you're in a studio class and everyone is sitting and you'd like to participate in that. So there's always a way that we can make ourselves comfortable. Once you have what works for you, if you haven't done so already, wiggle in, settle in, and take an intentional inhale and let it go. This sigh can be as loud as you'd like. It can come through the nose or the mouth. We'll do that again. Releasing and letting go. Breathing in, maybe even feel the collarbones spread and the heart lift up, and let it go. Shoulders relax. Let the palms of the hands float up and meet each other in front of your heart, perhaps even giving yourself a little clap, and then rub the hands together to create some friction. Create heat, your own internal heat. Pull it right out of your belly or right out of your heart. Feel it there in between the fingers and the palms. And then with a gentle shake, start to lift the palms of the hands and let the hands come to rest on either side of your head, temples, jaw, back of the head. And allow yourself a few full, generous inhales here. And then pull the belly in for a deep and thorough exhale. I'll invite you to notice that the deeper and the fuller the exhale, the more capacity you might have for a refreshing inhale. Bring your attention now to the place where your hands are feeling something, hair or skin, on the side of your head. And then with an inhale, really, really, really slowly, start to let that halo or that aurora around your head grow and expand. The hands are floating on that. Perhaps you even in your mind's eye feel a connection between the palms of the hands and the energy around your head. Hands getting broader and wider. And then once they're lifted up and well away from your head, roll the wrists with figure eights, both directions. And let the hands come to rest now anywhere that's comfortable on your thighs or knees. Some people are comfortable holding a little something, a little cushion, or if you're a young person, or heck, it doesn't matter the age, maybe a little stuffed animal that you like to hold here. Bring your attention now to the very tip of your nose and let that attention go from the tip of the nose all the way through the back of your head. So you have this horizontal line across your head. And with an inhale, turn to the right, across that horizon. And then exhale, come back to center. Inhale, turn to the left. Exhale, back to center. We'll do that one more time. Inhale to the right. Stay connected in the hips and the tailbone. Exhale to center. Inhale left. Exhale center. This time the inhale will have the nose draw a line up the wall in front of you, collarbones and shoulders relaxing. And then the exhale, pull the belly in, lengthen through the back of the neck to come back to neutral. Inhale, now dipping the chin well toward the chest. Let the back of the neck be broad, shoulders broad. Exhaling, coming back up to center. And we'll take that movement one more time. Inhale, draw a line up. Exhale, long back of the neck, relaxing the shoulders. Inhale, tuck the chin. And exhale, pull the belly in and lift through the back of the head. We will do that series one more time with all 4 directions. So inhaling to the right. Exhale, center. Inhale, left. Exhale, center. We're going up with the inhale. Exhale into neutral. Inhale, dip the chin. Exhale, come on up. Take a pause here. Assess how you might feel. Imagine that you can feel something not only in the neck, but also perhaps in the tailbone and the heavy sit bones that are rooted to the earth. This time on an inhale, let the hands float all the way up overhead. Fingertips will reach. If you'd like to really lift the heart and lift the gaze, you can. And then as you exhale, fingertips paint down and bring yourself into a gentle twist to one side. I'm starting twisting to the right. And then inhale back up to center. Same thing. This can be as big and reaching as you'd like. And then exhale into the twist. If you're holding your towel or stuffed animal, you can move that. Continue this with the pace of your breath. And I'll invite you to explore some places as you repeat that you didn't touch into previously. So on the twist this time, maybe there's a little extra deeper exhale that allows you to twist an inch microscopic movement further. Same with the inhale. If you didn't lift and reach through the pinkies, check that out. It's an easy morning. So we are meandering, exploring what our physical bodies are up to for today. I will finish up with a twist to the left, since I started with the right, and you can even yourself out. And we will come back to center. This time as you twist, again for me it's to the right, let the fingertips land. Take a moment here, pull the shoulder blades up a bit just so that you know that they're really up. And then exhale, bring them down so you know that they're really down. We'll be taking a few breath cycles here with the twist. You might imagine this forward arm as rotating in, rolling that arm and that shoulder in towards your chest a bit. And you might imagine this rear arm rotating away from the heart. I think that would be clockwise if you are turning to the right. So one arm rolling in toward the heart and the back arm rolling away from the chest. And just check that out for a moment. Imagine that this rotation isn't just in the arm, but that it starts in the chest. Imagine that it starts in the shoulder blades. And then we'll imbue the entire twist with an inhale into the belly and a full exhale. Inhale, unwind, float back to center. And exhale now to the other side. We'll take a few breath cycles here. Morning, Andrea. And let's play with the rotation again. So this forward arm, roll it in towards your heart. If you want to lift your whole arm and get your hand in on the action, that's a nice way to do it. The back arm rolls away from your heart. So I'm twisted to my left. So this back arm now is rotating counterclockwise. And I have found some place to land. This provides me a sense of centeredness and a little creation of gravity against my own body. Front arm rotating forward and inward. Back arm rotating backward and away. And now we invite the breath to inhabit the shape with us. Breathe in. You might even encourage the belly to get wide and broad in all directions. And then exhale deeply, fully, providing space for the inhale that will bring us back up to center. And then let everything go. Noodle the arms out. Let's get rid of everything, a nice shake. You can roll the arms whatever way you want. Figure eight, abracadabra. And if you've got your legs crossed, now would be a great time to change the cross of your legs. If you chose Hero's Pose at the beginning, not an issue. You are good to go. So from here, we're going to take a shoelace pose. So what that means is that if we have a really wide position, we let the knees come close. Ankles are more under the knees. Now, if you are in Hero's Pose, it may make sense for you to come out of that and join us here. But you could also go onto your back for a figure 4 hip opener, and I'll show you that in just a moment. But for right now, we've got these knees closer into the body so that the ankles are underneath the knees. There are a lot of options here. If you want something underneath the thighs, you can hold yourself up that way. But let's pick an ankle. I'm picking my right ankle, and I'm going to put it on top of the left knee, keeping the feet gently flexed. If you look at that and think, absolutely no way, here's what you can do. Straighten a leg. You might even support it underneath the knee. Let it be somewhat in front of you rather than way out to the side. And then you can take the ankle, gently flexed foot, and let that ankle come on the inner side of the thigh. And if you even want support here, go for it. So I'm a fan of the props. We bring the earth to us. Everything comes to us if we sit still and wait. Once you have your shape, you can begin to fold forward from the hip hinge. Now what that means is acting like your belt buckle is going to land first. In fact, your gaze could still be out towards your screen a little bit. Your fingertips might help you. Folding, folding, folding. Belt buckle leading. When you find the point of play that suits you for today, pause here, and then the breath joins deeply, completely, gently making its way through every joint of the sheet. We'll use an inhale to come up as well as our hands. If you'd like to walk your hands back a bit. Straighten both legs and then take the other side. So the other leg, if you're doing the half shoelace, you have the underneath leg is either straight or supported. And now the opposite ankle is on top. If you were a person who chose to go onto their back and you knew what figure 4 was, perhaps you're already there. but I'll show it to you in the spirit of accessibility and choices. You're on your back, and from here you pick an ankle, again, gently flexed foot, and let that ankle come onto the top of the thigh from here. And then the hand can gently encourage the thigh to roll away from your body. So we have two options here for opening the inner line of the inner thigh. If you're on your back, we call that a figure four sometimes. And if you were, I hear that referred to as shoelace. Everything we do this morning, we're calling it an easy morning because that empowers us making a choice of our language. Once you have finished the other side of your shoelace or your figure four, come on back to a gently cross-legged shape. If you were on your back, please rise up to meet us. We'll be doing a breath now that's a lovely opening and energizing breath for the morning. Go ahead, take your fingertips on top of your shoulders. Let the shoulders relax down. And then see about maybe just lifting the elbows. Elbows lifting up a bit while the shoulder blades are still relaxed down your body. The breath involves an inhale through the nostrils and an exhale through the mouth. It also involves a little twist. So as we inhale with the sharp inhale of the nostril, we'll turn to the left, and as we exhale, we'll turn to the right. And it looks like this. So that's how it is. Shoulders down, elbows up a bit to give these lungs some room to participate. And I will count 12 of these for us. If you've kept right on going, then awesome for you. You are a twisting Kundalini breath master. And we will now do 12. 10, 11, 12. Back to center. Hands will come back down. Let yourself resettle. Allow yourself to become sensitive to any motion, sense of motion, or vibration, beating heart. And then we will remove all the props, straightening our legs, and make plan to stand. Our plan to stand today is partially brought to us by the wonderful teacher Baxter Bell. So our plan to stand will actually have us beginning as low down to the ground as you can get. In child's pose with knees wide, if you'd like. If child's pose is not your thing, just go ahead and stick with table. We won't be here for too long. But let yourself get as close to the ground as you can as we seek really to spread out against the earth and then rise all the way up. If you are in a child's pose, extend the child's pose with wide, wide, wide fingers and heavy hips and even a heavy forehead. If you're in a modified table, you can relax the head down as well. Just get yourself as close and snuggly to the earth as you can. And then on an inhale, turn your toes under and press down into the arms, press down into the toes, inhaling through the back of the back, the center back of your back, rising up as much as you can. And then walk your hands back toward your knees. From here, Pick a leg, heel toe it to the front of the mat, or just lift it straight through to the front of the mat. And then your hands will come onto the thighs. We are continuing to rise up from the earth by pressing down into whatever part of us is still connected to the earth. And here's the Baxter Bell piece that I love. Your hands can be on your thighs or on your hips if you would like. Inhale, leaning forward just a bit. And as you exhale, press down into the ball of the foot and the front foot. Stepping forward. Good. We'll do that again coming up on the other side. So notice what leg you used to rise up and come on back down, bending your knees as much as you need to. Come all the way back down. For many of us, this is a practice in and of itself. So get yourself down as low as you can to the ground. There could be a super wide variation here. Wide legs with the belly and the chest and the forehead all connected. Or something more modified where the forearms are supporting you and the head is just simply relaxed and the head is bowing toward the earth. We'll begin rising up by curling the toes under and straightening the arms. Walk the arms back just a bit. And now the opposite leg needs to come to the front of the mat. And exhale assists there. Hands walk up the shin if you'd like, using your thigh to help you, or hands on hips. Lean forward a bit, find your inhale, and then exhale and step forward. You are now all the way up. So reach the arms up, reaching up as high as you can now from the earth. Does it help you perhaps to thread the fingers together and press the palms up toward the ceiling, pressing from the left and the right, maybe stepping the feet wide? Reach up away from the earth now as much as you can. Changing the thread of the fingers so it feels weird and awkward. Press, press, press away. Even the arches of the feet are lifting away from the earth. The crown of the head is lifting up away from the earth. Find an inhale and then exhale. Figure eight the hands to come all the way back down. Let the hands come to rest on the upper thighs here. Bring the weight of the body back into the heels just a bit. Pause and acknowledge the fact that you have come to fully stand and fully claim the space around you. Spread your arms wide, bend the knees. Let yourself take a 360-degree view of the room that you're in. Roll the feet, use the heels and the toes. Claim as much space as you'd like, just like we did down low in the earth and reaching high into the sky. Now we're out horizontally across the world, claiming the space that you might need for your Tuesday. The gaze coming along. See if you can find a window. See if you can find a different color. Let it come to you. Something new might present itself. And then when you feel like you've had enough of that, slowly come on back to center. We will heel toe our way to feet being a little closer together if they got nice and wide. And then zoop, jump them right back together. We'll take a candlestick pose together. Everything zipped up the midline from the big toe to the ankle, just as close as you can. And if it doesn't touch, that's okay. It's a concept of magnetizing everything in. Palms will find each other at heart center. Take a breath here. Let it go. Lengthen through the back of the neck. We allow a moment for the head to bow to the heart. And at this point in our easy morning, I'll suggest that you have lots of different off-ramps to choose from. If you would like to continue your standing practice, please do so. If you would like to return to the earth for Shavasana for 2 to 3 or 10 or 20 minutes, please do so. If you would like to find a seat of mindful meditation, please do so. Whatever the case may be, I will close this part of our easy morning with the word Namaste. Many of us have heard it, but I acknowledge that I am not from India. I don't speak Sanskrit, but I like the word for what it means, which is the light in me bows to the light in you. Thanks for being with me this morning. Namaste. So thank you once again, everyone, for being with me as we call it an easy morning. Hope you have a lovely rest of the day.